What's up, everybody? Coming to you from the Rose Bowl, where Mexico has just won 2-0 against Jamaica, and this puts Mexico through to the next round of the Copa America. What you guys thought of the game, Nate?
Well, I thought Jamaica threw away a hell of a lot of chances. I don't think Mexico's finishing was necessarily top tier either, but this game could have been a lot closer. There could have been a lot more goals in this game, and ya boy, former America, Jony's man crush of all time, Mr. Memo Ochoa, was actually very much responsible for keeping Jamaica off the board a couple of times. But you know that you heard the Jamaican players in the mix zone just now. They feel like they left something out here today, and they very easily could have done something in this game. But take nothing away from that Mexican performance because they deserve to win.
What stood out for you, Amy?
I think just, with Uruguay, it was the first couple minutes of the second half. Defense was definitely showing their weaknesses this whole game. Jamaica just didn't finish up those chances. They didn't execute what they could have easily been a win for them because Mexico just didn't have that many opportunities. So it's definitely a test for Osorio to see what's going on in the defense. Yacer Cardona was so lucky that wasn't a penalty. I'm calling it a penalty. I'm saying it right now. That was definitely a penalty that just got really lucky.
So now Mexico has a little trouble defensively. Jamaica had those one-on-one plays. They caused a lot of trouble, but they still kept them off the board today. Still took home the shutout, scored the 2 goals. Solid performance. Do you think Mexico's one of the better sides of this Copa America? Let's compare them to Colombia, Brazil, Chile.
They're definitely one of the strong ones. I will say what I said earlier. The only thing that was keeping Mexico alive was Jamaica's attackers not finishing. Like I said, it's definitely a testing point. It's definitely something that they have to look at. They have to work on. But yeah, they're still a strong team. They obviously came out of it with a victory, and they'll just have to learn.
I've been lucky over the last week to see, I think, 8 different teams play, from up in Santa Clara with the USA and Colombia, with Argentina, Chile, back down here with Colombia and Paraguay on Tuesday night, now with Mexico and Jamaica tonight. And Mexico, without a doubt, are one of the 3 or 4 most informed teams in this tournament. What I can't wait to see is them potentially match up with an Argentina, with a Colombia, because everyone's talking about this Mexican defense, and it's funny that I compare it to the Colombian press the other night here on Tuesday, right here on the same field at the Rose Bowl, and all the Colombian press, all the Colombian fans were talking about the same thing. God, our defense looked terrible in that second half. Oh my God, the Colombian defense. Well, the Colombian attack looked mighty nice as well. So Mexican attack, Colombian attack, that type of stuff. I cannot wait to see 2 teams go toe-to-toe who, for all intents and purposes, don't really seem to care about defense all too much, man. I want to see attacking football, and as a neutral, when I watch Mexico play, I see attacking football. I see fun stuff. Yeah, Mexican fans might be a little bit worried about that defense, but it's fun attacking.
Speaking of the attack, Chicharito gets a goal today. He's 1 goal closer to that record. He needs 1 goal to tie, 2 goals to set his own record. He's in really good form. He's confident. Is that what you're seeing from him playing, him making those runs on the field? Is that what you're seeing, Amy?
Yeah, definitely. He's totally just woke up today. He was a little clumsy last game, wasn't really finishing, wasn't really timing it all that well, which is Lozano. But today he finished, and he was able to get his goal, and now he's closer to the record. So hopefully this continues against Venezuela.
I'm just gonna throw this out there to all the fans of the Mexican Soccer Show and all the people from Pancho Villa's army. I have seen Chicharito live and in person 3 times. The first time was here at the CONCACAF Cup against the United States. The second time was down in San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium last week in the friendly against Chile. And the third time was tonight. All 3 of those times, Chicharito has scored the first goal of the game. So Pancho Villa's army, I suggest that you buy me a permanent ticket to every Mexico game if you want to see Chicharito break this record. Jared Borghetti, lo siento.
Hey, then we brought you on the show to get freebies or to analyze.
I'm making the ultimate analysis. When I'm here, Chicharito scores.
Anything else to add? Anything else that stood out for you? We talked about the defense. We talked about the attack. The midfield, that seems to be Mexico's strongest point. So much so that we don't really go over it. We don't really talk about it because it's just so solid. It does its job game after game.
Solid, so solid that we just don't notice it. I like that. Jony's onto something with that because it's true. They're strong, and anything in the middle of that Mexican park is taken care of. It's the problems are at the back 4 right now. That midfield is solid as could be.
Yeah, but I mean, there was definitely, you could very much tell that Guardado was missing. You know, there wasn't that strong midfielder there to control it. Like we said, continuously, it was really, really clumsy every now and then. So, you know, they're great, but they're not perfect.
We've talked about the Jamaican chances tonight. Most all of those came on one-on-one opportunities on through balls that went up and over the midfield, long balls from the back that then snuck through to that back four.
And defensive giveaways.
And defensive giveaways from that back four. So again, it's the back four that I think Mexican fans and the media are most worried about. Think about this. They get Guardado back now.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more of a blessing could you ask for?
Before we close out, we thought Uruguay against Mexico, you win that game, you avoid Argentina because, you know, Uruguay and Mexico are going through from this group. Now all of a sudden, you beat Uruguay, you think you have avoided Argentina. Now you go into this next game in Houston and you still have to play for that first place spot against a very surprising Venezuela.
What about the idea of Mexico playing Chile again? What if they beat Venezuela, Chile finishes second in that group, and we end up with a rematch of that game that we saw down in San Diego last week?
You know, that's always been the game plan, but what I'm trying to get is, we always thought that the game against Venezuela was good. Mexico was already going to have its qualification, which it does, but it wasn't going to mean much.
Well, I throw this to you then. Throw this to both of you. How do you guys feel about this Venezuela team? You've had a chance to see them play 2 games. I don't think Jamaica had any idea what was coming at them the other day. You know damn sure that Uruguay had no idea what was going to come at them tonight. Suddenly it's Venezuela and Mexico competing for that top spot to avoid Argentina. How do you feel about matching up with that Venezuelan team?
Amy?
I mean, Osorio definitely has a lot of things to look over, a lot of, you know, strategies to think of. It's going to be a tough game. I said the same thing about Jamaica. I said the same thing about Uruguay. You can't underestimate any of the teams here. Everybody wants to beat Mexico. Everybody wants to qualify knowing that they beat Mexico, or, you know, be able to have the bragging rights to say that they beat Mexico. So it's just going to be a lot of work from Mexico's side, the defense, everything we've been talking about. It's going to be a good match.
Now, I've said it before, Mexico's winning Copa America, and in order to win Copa America, you definitely need to be able to beat a team like Venezuela. So I guess with that, we say goodnight. You know, anything to add?
She said everybody wants to beat Mexico. Everybody wants to beat the host nation. And the host nation of this tournament is Jony Rico.
Mexico.
All right, thank you guys.
Good night, everybody.